FPL managers, guys, today we are exploring the absolute best captain you can have for game week 16, and I'm gonna be honest, guys, it's not as easy as you think. So yeah, like and subscribe and let's get into it. First, what we're going to do, guys, we're going to look at the three main template captaincy options. Obviously, that's going to be Palmer, Salah and Saka, guys. These are the three main captains that almost everybody is going to be using their captaincy on. We're also not just going to be looking at these players, but we're going to be looking at the defensive data of the teams they're playing against. So we're going to be looking at Brentford, Fulham and Everton, and look at how all their away defences have been throughout the entire season to work out who really has the best fixture. Then we'll end it on a few differential captain options. If you're trying to be different, you know, you think you're a cool guy and you're trying to gain rank, you ultimately are going to fail, but there's a few differential options I like anyway. Guys, on the screen you can already see we've got the three main template captaincy options, and you can already tell this is becoming a two-horse race, guys. I mean, Palmer and Salah on the expected data are way higher than Saka, especially on the expected goals. But guys, it's worth noting that from these expected goals, Palmer and Salah have both had 2 penalties in the last 5 game weeks. This is the data we're looking at from the last 5 weeks, and their expected goals would be 2.9 and 2.8 respectively if there were no penalties involved, which is, it's still the highest in the game aside from Erling Haaland. It's still very good, but it's not as good as it looks, if you get what I mean. But penalties are still a thing. They can still get more penalties in this next game week. Also, guys, if any of the abbreviations here look confusing to you, check the description. I've got it all down there in case you're getting a little confused. Another crucial piece of information you guys may have already clocked is that Salah has actually played 90 less minutes than Cole Palmer and even less minutes than Saka, despite having the most insane expected data of all time. So guys, it is really worth thinking about, right? What you can see right now, Salah is the best asset by far. He's a better choice than Palmer, and he's definitely a better choice than Saka if we're going off just the form and the expected data and how good these players are in general. But it's not that simple. We also have to look at the teams and the defences they're playing against. We are going to quickly discuss Saka as well, guys. Saka, I don't think he should be considered when looking at captaincy. As you can see here, his expected goals are quite low. In the last 5 game weeks, he is not even top 50 in the league for expected goals. Sure enough, he's first for expected assists, but guys, even then, the expected assists aren't that high. I mean, for me to consider Saka, Everton would have to have like the worst away defence in the league for me to even consider him. And with Palmer, he better be playing against a really easy defence for me to even consider him over Salah. But guys, here is where it gets a little interesting. We're going to look at the defensive data of all 3 of these teams now here, guys. I'm using the goalkeepers to represent the team's defence. The only stats we really care about here is the clean sheets, expected clean sheets, the goals conceded and the expected goals conceded, because that's what our attackers are going to be playing against. And all of these guys, they've played the same amount of away games with each other, so it's reliable data. They've all played the same amount. Now, the Brentford defence is at the top, but guys, I want to talk about Fulham and Everton first. Now, guys, if you look at the Fulham and Everton expected goals conceded, they're quite low, very low in comparison to Brentford. Now, Fulham and Everton, well, they're not the best teams in the world. I mean, Fulham are in a pretty good league position and Everton are quite low down, but their away defence is kind of similar. I mean, looking at the goals conceded, the actual goals conceded, Fulham have like half of what Everton have conceded, but the expected goals conceded are pretty much the exact same, which kind of leads me to believe that Pickford hasn't been a great goalkeeper this season and players have been overperforming their expected goals against Everton. It's a mix of both. It wouldn't just be one or the other. If we really look at Everton's away defence compared to the rest of the league, guys, 3rd for expected goals conceded and 7th for expected clean sheets. That makes them a top 5 away defence in the league. And even though Everton aren't a solid team and they have a really bad attack, they're not super easy to play against. They're not super easy to attack against. Obviously, a home game against a team in the bottom 6 of the Premier League is still easy. But in comparison to other teams, it could be a lot better. And moving on to Fulham now, guys. 2nd for expected goals conceded and 4th for expected clean sheets in terms of away defence. That puts them as a top 3 away defence in the Premier League. And as we saw when they played against Arsenal, they were not an easy team to break down whatsoever. They ended up drawing 1-1. So Salah, while his data is amazing and he's the best asset, he is actually playing one of the hardest fixtures on paper when playing a home game, which is hard to believe because playing home to Fulham is still on paper a green fixture, but it may not be as easy as you think, and maybe Liverpool will struggle to score more than 2 goals in that game. With that being said, Liverpool are clearly the best team in the league and they could put 3 or 4 past anyone. But it's definitely something worth considering when you're looking at captaincy, because a big captaincy swing could mean the difference between a green arrow and a red arrow. And at this point, I'm still thinking, well, Salah is still the best asset. He's playing against a slightly tough team, but it would take a lot for me to change my captaincy from Palmer instead of Salah. But looking at those Brentford defensive numbers, I'm immediately thinking, okay, what's going on here? Because these expected goals conceded, guys, they are not good at all. Brentford, all season, guys, playing away, they are 16th for expected goals conceded, and they are 19th for expected clean sheets. That puts them as one of the worst away defences in the entire league. This, guys, in my opinion, changes absolutely everything. I mean, even the point predictions by AI is predicting Palmer to get more points than Salah in this game week. And I know some of you may be looking at the expected points for goalkeepers here and wondering why Flecken, even though his defensive data is so much worse, why are the points still similar to the other goalkeepers? That's a lot to do with save points, guys. Flecken has like 20 times more saves than any goalkeeper in the league just because of how poor their defence is. So guys, in summary, Salah has the best data, is the best asset, on the best form, and is the safest option. You know, his effective ownership is going to be quite high. It's going to be risky to go without him. On the other side of things here, Palmer has the best fixture, slightly worse data, not a lot worse, and he's going to have massive upside. If he does outscore Salah, it's going to be a big differential captain. Not hugely differential because a lot of people will go Palmer captain, but I believe a lot more people are going to go with Salah because it's a lot safer. If you ask me, guys, who I'm going to captain for game week 16, I'm going to captain Cole Palmer. I believe he is the best captain for this game week, but it is not an easy call. Salah is very close behind and still a very valid option. Just make sure you're not going to consider Bukayo Saka as your captain because you will certainly regret it, guys. I hope I don't come to regret saying that, but guys, seriously, don't consider Saka, Cole Palmer, or Salah. And real quick, guys, some differential captain options here for you all. To be honest, I only like one of these options. There's only one I would even slightly consider, but even then, I'm definitely not going to pick a differential captain. Jackson sometimes outscores Cole Palmer, not a lot, so it's not super reliable. Cunha has blanked in the last 3 game weeks, and even though he is playing against the worst defence in the league, I still wouldn't back him over these big premiums like Salah and Palmer. The option I like here is Isak, guys. Isak has, you know, huge potential against a team like Leicester. Leicester is the 2nd worst defence in the league. I'm not going to pull up all these guys' defensive numbers like the Leicester expected goals conceded and the Ipswich expected goals conceded. I'm just going to let you know that Leicester home, as if you didn't know it already, is a really easy fixture, and Isak, as if you didn't know this already, is a really good FPL player. So if you are looking to go differential because you want to have fun, you want to take a risk, Isak is easily your guy to go for. But once again, I don't recommend it. I wouldn't encourage it, guys. Like I'm saying, I'm recommending Cole Palmer. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think of my captaincy ratings. Do you think I gave everybody a fair chance? Do you think I gave good ratings? Do you agree with the top 3? Bukayo Saka 3rd, Salah 2nd, and Palmer 1st. Let me know in the comments, guys. If you did make it this far, you are greatly appreciated. Thank you for watching, guys, and I will see you all in the next video.